Good morning, children. Welcome to Narayana Live Classes. Myself, Sanmesh, and today we are going to discuss Class 7 Physics assignment, which was provided to you on 4th of July. This assignment is based on the chapter Motion and Time. Now, most of the questions in this assignment are graphical type questions, which are based on distance time graph. So, let us begin with our first question. So, our first question, as you can see, is Valentina is going for a bike ride. Below is a distance time graph that describes her full journey. Okay, so they have given us a distance time graph, and based on that, they have asked us few questions which we need to answer. So the first question is, how long was she stationary for? So as you can see, as you all know, in distance time graph, if the graph is parallel to time axis and if it is a straight line, then for that particular section, we can say that the object was at stationary or the person was at rest. Okay. So from the graph, can you see a section which is straight line and parallel to time axis? If we notice it carefully, this section of the graph is a straight line parallel to time axis. So for this section, we can say that Valentina was stationary. So we have to find for how long she was stationary. So this is the initial time, 1745, and this is the final time. Now how to find out this final time, children? Okay, how much time she took, she was at rest from this point to this point? It is very easy actually. We need to find out the scale of the graph first of all. Now in the scale of the graph, what we can see is two divisions are used for 15 minutes. As you can see, 17 hours and 17 hours 15 minutes. Between that, there are two divisions. This is 1 and this is 2. So this one division is obviously 15 divided by 2, which is 7 minutes 30 seconds. Correct? So each division on the time axis accounts for 7 minutes and 30 seconds. So as you can see, between initial and final point, there is a difference of one division. So I can clearly say that Valentina was at rest for about 7 minutes and 30 seconds, or you can directly write 7.5 minute. 7.5 minute. I hope the point is clear. Let us proceed to our next bit. What was the total distance traveled during her journey? So she started from this particular point, from origin, let us say, and she traveled till this point. Okay, she traveled till this point, let us say point A. All right. And she was at rest for some time and then traveled back again to the origin. So throughout her journey, how much distance she has traveled? So on the distance axis now, you can see again two divisions are used for 10 kilometer. So obviously this one division is for 5 kilometer. So this is 5, this is 15. Okay, and this will be 25. So 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So from origin, she traveled for 25 kilometers. And again, from that point, she traveled back to the origin. So I can say that 25 kilometers plus 25 kilometers. So overall, total distance which she traveled was 25 plus 25, which is 50 kilometers. I hope the point is clear, children. Let us proceed to our next bit of this question. What was her average speed in kilometers per hour between 17 hour 15 minutes and 17 hour 45 minutes? So here is our 17 hour 15 minutes mark here, and this is our 17 hour 45 minutes mark. So how much distance she traveled between 17:15 and 17:45? So this is 5 kilometers. She was at 5 kilometer mark at 17:15, and she was at 25 kilometer mark at 17:45. So how much distance did Valentina travel between these 2 points? Very easy, 25 minus 5, which is 20 kilometers, right? 20 kilometers. And how long she took to travel these 25 kilometers? from here till here, what is the time period? 1745 minus 1715, which is nothing but our 30 minutes, right? 30 minutes she took. So the total distance, children, is 20 kilometers and total time is 30 minutes. Now we want our speed, average speed in kilometers per hour. So let us convert total time in hour. So divide minute by hour, will get the divide minute by 60, will get our time period in hour. So 30 by 60 will be half an hour, right? So average speed is total distance traveled divided by total time taken. Now total distance is 20 kilometer, total time is half an hour. So the speed, average speed is 20 into 2. This 2 will go into the numerator and get multiplied, which will get 40 kilometers per hour. I hope the point is clear, children. Let us proceed to our next question. Okay. From the description of Neil's journey below, construct a distance time graph. Now we have to construct a distance time graph in this case. Okay. Now Neil left home at 12 and after half an hour of moving at constant speed, he had traveled 12 kilometers. So let us first draw graph till this particular point. Okay. So this is my distance time graph which I have taken. This is time. Okay. And this is distance in kilometer. This is distance in kilometer. So first information what they gave is he started his journey at 12. So we are starting from 12 o'clock. Fine. Half an hour later, okay, half an hour later, he traveled distance 12 kilometer. Means from here, he traveled distance 12 kilometer. So this is my 12 kilometer mark. And with constant speed, So this line will be a straight line. With this line will be a straight line as we draw for uniform motion, right? Now, this mark is 12:30, half an hour. Correct? Now at 12:30, his speed increased. At 12:30, his speed increased. So obviously the slope of line will slightly increase. Increase in speed means increase in the slope of line. So from here, I'm increasing the slope of line like this. Okay. And after half an hour of traveling at constant speed, he had traveled further 32 kilometers. Further 32 means, children, initial 12 plus 32 means 44 kilometer. He reached the mark 44 kilometer. So I need to draw the graph like this. Okay, this line. Obviously, this line has more slope as compared to the initial line because he has increased the speed. Now, what they are saying is, at which point, and after an hour of traveling, after an hour of traveling, at which point he stopped. So at this particular point, he stopped. All right. Now, after 3 hours of being stopped, he drove towards home at a constant speed. So for 3 hours, he was stationary. Again, how to show that the object is stationary on the distance time graph? We have to draw a straight line parallel to the time axis. So I have taken a straight line parallel to the time axis like this, children. All right. Now, after 3 hours means from this particular point, okay, 1:30 or 13:30, as you can say, 3 hours means 1:30, 2:30, 3:30 and 4:30. That means 16:30. So this will be my 16:30, correct? So after 3 hours, after being at rest, he drove back home with a constant speed. Now he's going back to its origin. Okay. So I have to draw a line in such a way that it has negative slope. You can say that it has negative slope. And also it is a constant speed. So obviously it will be a straight line. And how long he took? He took 2 hours to reach back home. So from 16:30, I have to stop at 18:30. This point is 18:30. So this is how my graph will look. I hope the point is clear, children. Let us proceed further to our next question. Question number 3. Below is a distance time graph describing a 1500-meter race run by Chris. Work out the maximum speed he reached during this run. Now, which section has maximum speed? There is a trick to find out. First of all, we don't have to calculate speed for the separate sections. Obviously, just by looking at the graph, we can say that from this particular point till this point, he was moving at constant speed from point O to point A, let us say. Again, from A to B, he has changed his speed and was moving at the constant speed. Again, he changed his speed at point B, and from B to C, again, he moved at constant speed. So during which time from 0 to A or A to B or B to C, he traveled faster or he had a maximum speed. Now, a very simple trick to know this is we need to see the angle made by the horizontal line. So for example, let us take this angle as theta1. Okay. Let us take this angle as theta2. Let us take this angle as theta3. So which angle is maximum from amongst three? Which angle is maximum? Just by looking at it, I can say that obviously theta1 is maximum. This angle is maximum. So obviously between point 0 to A, the person was moving or the person was running with the maximum speed. So I only have to calculate the speed between 0 to A. So it's your choice. If you want to calculate the speed for all three sections, it is well and good. But if you want to save some time, you can use this trick. So let us calculate the speed. So from 0 to point A, how much distance he has traveled, that we need to find out. So let us find out first. Let me get rid of all these marks. All right. Now, as you can see again on the time axis, two sections or two divisions are used for 60 seconds. That means one division, children, one division is 30 seconds. Try to understand. One division is 30 seconds. Again, each box is again subdivided into 5 sections or 5 columns. One, two, three, 4, 5. So each subdivision, so for example, now each section or each division is 30 seconds from 0 to 30. Again, 0 to 30, this 30 seconds is divided by 5. So each subdivision is for 6 seconds. Okay, each subdivision is for 6 seconds. So I can say that from 0 till this point, it has 60 and 2 subdivisions. 2 subdivision means this point is 72 seconds. This particular point is 72 seconds. Now the graph is not that clear on my screen. Obviously, when you will be getting your assignments, the graph will be very much clear on that PDF. So you will be able to figure it out. Now at 6, now how much distance he has traveled? You can see from 0 to 600. So this is the distance he has traveled. In what time? 72 seconds. So maximum speed will be total distance divided by total time, which is 600 divided by 72, which is nothing but 25 by 3 or 8.33 meters per second. Very simple, children. First of all, you need to figure out what is the scale they have used. In this scale, as again I'm repeating, they have used 2 divisions for 60 seconds. Okay, 2 divisions means 60 seconds, means 1 division is 30 seconds. Again, in that one division is divided into 5 subdivisions. That means one subdivision is 30 by 5, which is nothing but 6 seconds. So like that, you can figure out where your graph is ending, like at what time. Okay, by figuring out the scale of the graph which is given. I hope the point is clear, children. Let us proceed further to our next question. Emma traveled to her grandmother's house and back the distance time graph shows information about her journey. Now they have again given us a distance time graph and they are asking certain questions on that. What time, okay, what time did Emma begin her journey? At what time Emma began her journey? Again, children, we need to figure out the scale which they have given. So this is the time axis, correct? This is the time axis, and you can see between 7 to 8, between 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. there are two divisions, this 1 and 2, 1, 2. So I can say that this one division is for 30 minutes because 2 division 1 hour, 1 division means 30 minutes, correct? So this particular point, I can say that it is 7:30, 7:30. So Emma began her journey at 7:30 a.m. 7:30 a.m. Now she began her journey at 7:30 a.m. correct? And she reached her grandmother's house. And as you can see, she was at rest for certain time because my distance time graph is again a straight line parallel to time axis. So Emma was at rest for a certain time. Now, how long Emma stayed at her grandmother's house? So we have to find for how long she was stationary or for how long she was at rest. So from this particular time, now can you guess which time is this? This is 8 and 1 division, which is 8:30. 8:30, and she was stationary or at rest till this particular point, which is 10 a.m. correct? 8:30 to 10 a.m. That means for 1.5 hours, or you can say 90 minutes, she stayed at her grandmother's house for 90 minutes or 1.5 hours. At what time Emma leave her grandmother's house? Which is very easy. See, from this particular time period, she started moving back to her house. She started moving back to her origin. So I can say that she left her grandmother's house at 10 a.m. At 10 a.m. Correct? I hope the point is clear, children. Let us proceed to our last question of this assignment. Okay. The speed of bus is 72 kilometers per hour, whereas the speed of car is 125 meters per second. Which vehicle moves faster? Now we just have to compare the speeds, but can we directly compare? No, because speed of bus is given in kilometers per hour, in kilometers per hour, whereas speed of car is given in meters per second. So we cannot directly compare first. Okay, we need to convert this kilometer per hour into meters per second. Either you can do that, or you can convert this meter per second into kilometer per hour. It's your choice. So what we will do here, we'll convert this kilometer per hour into meters per second. Very common formula which we are going to use is 72 into 5 by 18, which you all children know, because 1 kilometer per hour is equal to 5 by 18 meters per second. This is the common conversion. Okay, so 18 ones are 18 fours are 4 fives are 20. So this is 20 meters per second. Now we can make the direct comparison, which is faster. Now the speed of bus is 20 meters per second. The speed of car is 125 meters per second. So the car moves faster, which was a very easy question. I hope all the concepts are clear to you all the solutions are clear to you. Thank you, children. Thank you so much.